So in 1998, I left the shores of Nigeria for UK. It has been playing on my mind to go to UK for various reasons. One, because my friends have already left. So I have few friends that have left for UK and America. And also my brother lives in the UK. But it wasn't a very strong yearning. It was, if it happens, it happens. I am married with children, so I was settled in Nigeria. I'm working as well as my husband. So we're living comfortably. And my mom was still in Nigeria. So I had ties in Nigeria. I was comfortable to stay in Nigeria to look after my mom since my only brother was in the UK. My mom had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl, and we lost our youngest, the boy. So it's just my brother and I. So I had roles to play and things to keep me busy and ties in Nigeria. But then, as fate will have it, in 1998, my brother got married and we were all invited to that wedding, me and my mother. So thoughts start entering my mind then, and I was discussing with my husband, and I was saying, if we could look into doing my adaptation program in UK. That is what a Nigerian registered nurse have to do to get work in the UK. So we thought about it, discussed it at length concerning my living, the care of the children, what to do and what not to do. Is it beneficial to us or not? And after a soul-searching period of deliberating, praying, and thinking about it, and my husband said, it's going to be a tough work for me to look after the kids, but I think it's the right thing for us to do as a family. Because of the children, to make sure they are in steady educational system, and that was the key. So we started looking into the adaptation program and the application to different hospitals. And my goodness, did I apply up to 100 hospitals? My brother was impressed because I was using his address. And all of them came back rejected, not successful this time. But I kept on going. By the time it was due for travel for the wedding, one of the hospitals in London granted me interview. So me and my mom, we went for the wedding, and after the wedding, I went for the interview. And just after I finished having that interview in London, there was a hospital in Hull that also called me for an interview. And because my brother was living in Hull, it made sense for me to accept the hospital in Hull. Because when you are doing adaptation, it's not just adapting to the work, the professional side of it. It's also adapting to the cultural aspect of it. I didn't know that. I thought it was just work, work, work. That one was easy. I was able to get a good clinical teacher who looked after me, Mr. Collins. And he guided me, was looking after me. We're having one-to-one every week to see how I'm coping. He was impressed with the experiences I've had as a nurse in Nigeria and incorporated it in the adaptation process. The people of Hull were very welcoming and they supported me despite that I was the only black nurse they've encountered, because Hull is in the north of the country, and in London and Birmingham and Manchester they have a lot of black ethnic minority there, but in Hull it is so very few, and in the hospital it's just barely non-existent. In the whole critical care, I was the only black nurse. So you could see how difficult it was for me to adapt. I had a lot of challenges, not from work, but from the HR people, because they didn't know what to do with somebody who is doing adaptation from other countries. In London, they were doing it a lot, so they knew what to do. So what I had to do was to learn the process. I went into studying what it takes, what is needed, what I need to educate them so that they can support me. But also my brother was very valuable to me because the work aspect, as I said, was smooth. But adapting to the culture was a shock to me. So when they work very hard, but they shell out. So during the weekend, or if there's somebody's birthday, they will say, oh, we're going to the pub. And the pub, to me, was equivalent to beer parlor in Nigeria. And imagine, as a married woman, that I'm going to the pub, to the beer parlor, as we say in Nigeria. And my husband wasn't in this country yet. And I felt, oh, the way people will be looking at me, if people in Nigeria hear about it, they will say, oh, she's gone wayward now because her husband is not around. So all these were playing in my mind. But thank God for my brother, because I was very hesitant to put my name down to go to this pub. But then it looks like I'm antisocial, that I don't want to join them. I don't want to belong. They don't know what was going on in my head. So when I get home and my brother will say, how is today? And I told him about this pub outing. And he laughed. He said, this is adapting to the culture. They only told you about work, but the whole adaptation is everything inclusive, adapting to the way of life. He said going to the pub is just nothing. It's just normal occurrence for anybody to go and have a drink. So, and he said, what you have to do is you put your name down and you go. You have your phone. When you are tired, you make any excuse and call me and I will come and pick you. So that was my saving grace. Imagine going to the pub and I was like a loose, I don't know what to describe myself. I was just hiding in the corner, not being myself, not really enjoying it. I was only thinking of what people would say. And they were enjoying themselves, going to get a drink, and they would say, oh, this is my round. And I'm thinking, I'm only going to have one. I'm only going to have a mineral, non-alcoholic, so that I will know exactly what I'm doing. And the shock came when they said, oh, when we finish here, we're going to go to 5 pubs. And I'm thinking, I haven't even finished one. Not talk of going to another. So I quickly made my excuses and went into the toilet and called my brother and said, please come and pick me up. And I went and told them one excuse or the other. And I left. But at least I showed my presence. And from then, it became easier to join. There's no harm in it at all. So what I did was, when other sets of people were coming for adaptation, I was able to liaison with the clinical tutors to give them some background knowledge about this adapting to the culture. I also taught the British staff about the culture of these people, that when they are shying away from certain things, it's not because they don't want to join, it's because of the cultural clash. So they were very grateful, both sides, to understand each other. I didn't have that anybody to explain because I was the first, but I was glad that I'm able to help with my experience. So when I finished my adaptation, there was a job that came out and I applied and I got the job. So I started my nursing career in Hull in the UK. Hull is a very quiet, lovely town in the north of the country. Very friendly. People are so friendly. When you come out of your front garden, you will spend up to half an hour chatting to people you don't even know. They will stop and ask of you, smile. And it was good that I was able to eventually apply for my children and my husband to join me. And they came. And I'm glad that I brought them up in Hull, because they always feel, up till now, they are grown, that Hull is their second home. I can't say much or anything bad about Hull. I really enjoyed it. My nursing career took off there in the UK. I met a lot of lovely people that I'm still in touch with today. It was there that I joined to be a union representative, representing nurses under the auspice of Royal College of Nursing. That afforded me a lot of opportunities in terms of travel, experiences, going to congresses, conferences, meeting a lot of people, networking, giving me a position in the boardroom to represent nurses. So I had a lot going for me as a nurse. It gave me opportunity to know the legislations, the laws, when to fight and when not to, when to push and when to pull, to give a voice to people that do not have voices, to show Black or ethnic minority that we can sit in the same table as the rest of the world. It was very encouraging that when you sit on that board, management board, that you meet a lot of all these big shots. So it's not only knowing them by name, but I was able to put a name to a face. And it made my life very easy because I could pick up a phone and ring the chief exec. I could pick up a phone and ring any of the directors. And I was a source of encouragement to a lot of nurses that you can be heard. What else I learned as a nurse in the UK is that you work for your money. There's no room for complacencies. You are taught, you deliver a good, wholesome care, and patients are satisfied. And when you get your pay, you know that you've worked. You are giving your rest, you're giving your annual leave, you're giving all your entitlement. Your pay comes at the right time. So it has been a good experience for me moving to the UK, bringing my children, seeing them through schools, and now it is back to me and my husband. So that is my experience coming to the UK. The food, adapting to the food as well. I swore I would never eat a mashed potato, but look at me now. I love mashed potato. It's good to experiment. It's good to adapt to different things. If you know you're going to travel, you've got to be adaptable in every sense of it. And if you allow yourself, you will see you will enjoy it. Also, African food. When you come, you think you will miss it. I used to travel to London every month, and I will go to Peckham Market and pack all the Nigerian food. And surprisingly, all this Nigerian food are not sold by Nigerians. They're sold by Pakistani or other countries because they know it's a good market. But later, in Hull, we started having our own shops there. And you can go out and buy anything and prepare anything. So people going home, I said, do you want this? And I laugh. Yes, it might be costlier, but you'll find it here. So that was how I moved to the UK. And I hope to hear a lot of comments about other people's experiences when they moved to the UK. If you are watching, still watching, please do share, like, and comment. It is your girl, Agape. And I appreciate you for your steadfastness in following me. Thank you, and God bless you. Agape love.